people miss part of the entry and then they go, well, why were you talking about that? Let's see if, yep, looks like we're recording. So we're just going to wait another minute or so for people to join. Good morning, everyone. I see Dennis is there, Greg's there. Good morning. Allie, I get to see you, your name. Annika, good to see you. Cindy. I think we have a few more. Leanne, there you go. Lisa, this is a double for Lisa, I think. I got to see Lisa last night also. I've got Andy waiting, so let me click Andy in here.
Hi, Diana. This is Allie. I want to say hi.
Yes, thank you, Allie. I never get to see you, so hello. Wonderful to see you, hear you.
So happy to be here with you.
Wonderful. I'm glad for you to be here also. Allie, this poem will also have a little relevance for you. I'm not going to say why I think so. I'd love to hear after. What about it resonates for you as well?
Okay.
It's a poem that a therapist wrote. This therapist's name is Ellen Bass. Ellen Bass became really a poet, probably by accident, but she was a therapist. And this, like I said, fell literally out of the sky this morning on me. I ran into it. And I thought, this is the point of Sangha. This is the point of our practice. This is why we are mindful, so that we can abide, we can pay attention. But I want to keep everybody alerted, really, with underscoring exclamation. Mindfulness by itself is not sufficient to the end of suffering. So all the recognition in all the world only helps you see the suffering that's there, right? It is not by itself the end of suffering, but how we then, with that clarity, with that wisdom, with that insight, with that understanding, seeing the causes and conditions of the nature of suffering. How are we constructing our suffering? Yes, it is us. No, it is not life. I know it's hard to hear. How then do we act? How then do we live? How then do we respond rather than resist? And my key question to us today is, what is it in life that we are continuously, almost breath by breath, resisting? What is it that we are fighting against, not wanting? And I'll hold that question while we go to the poem. I think I've got almost everybody in here. I'm going to look one more time. It looks pretty good to me. I'll do my best when you come in late, after about 5, to click in if I can. I know I have missed, because I meditate with you also, which is not everyone's way. It is not every teacher's way. Some teachers just instruct the meditation. I don't find that very effective. I find stilling my own mind, silencing my own countenance, calming my own presence to be most useful to you. The words are extra, not essential. And I had a teacher who also taught in that way. So her greatest gift to me was her meditation practice and the benefits of that as I experienced those through her. And so consequently, here I am offering the same. She didn't ever say a word. That's the difference. I've made up for all her not talking right here. Let's go see if I can find that poem. You're listening for What About This Connects for Me. And be careful because even the name of the poem can be a little. The name of the poem is Phone Therapy, but Don't mistake therapy as needing to be a therapist, A. And then B, yes, you are. Yes, you are, right? Without credential, who needs them? There's something more important. And I'll read this as you settle in. I was relief once for a doctor on vacation and got a call from a man on a windowsill. This was New York, a dozen stories up. He was going to kill himself, he said. I said everything I could think of. And when nothing worked, when the guy was still determined to slide out that window and smash his delicate skull on the indifferent sidewalk, do you think, I asked, you could just postpone it until Monday when Dr. Lewis gets back? The cord that connected us, strung under the dirty streets, the pizza parlors, taxis, women in sneakers carrying their high heels, drunks lying in piss. That thick coiled wire waited for the waves of sound. In the silence, I could feel the air slip in and out of his lungs, and the moment when the motion reversed, like a goldfish making the turn at the glass end of its tank. What an image. I matched my breath to his, slid into the water, and swam with him. Okay, he agreed. I slid into the water and swam with him. What is that? Okay, he agreed. So what is that? That connection, that contact, that presence, that being there, that actually invites, okay, I'll stay, I'll be, I'll abide, one more breath, one more moment with you, with you. That's it, with you. Let's practice that. And the way we then make contact with you is by being here first with us, me, and you. And this practice of staying as present, as open-hearted, as abiding as we can. And so we're going to do that practice today, that open, spacious, wide practice. We'll get there. We never start there. It's not true. I don't believe it. There are many beautiful dual, non-dual teachers who say, just be. And it's not wrong, but I don't know the way there. I have to start slow in the shallow water. I have to go breath by breath, just first touching into the body and then touching into the breath and then stilling that to see the truth of that coiled thread of wire that holds us all, always together. And so take a sip of your drink if you need. And then let's set the body, the mind, and the heart in right inward measure. Medi, the root word of meditation, right inward measure. We're going to set the whole thing on right course, right here and right now. Finding the feet on the floor, the weight of the body in the seat, feeling the uprightness of the spine, flexible but strong. It's holding most of you up. That beautiful balance of the head, pointing the crown of the head towards the ceiling, just inviting that little tuck of the chin. We tend to walk around as Americans with our nose in the air, chin up, just tucking in a little. That's that imperceptible bow. Bowing to what? To the preciousness of this human life, to the reality of the impermanence of the whole of it. We can cling to nothing, grasp nothing, hold tightly nothing without getting a rope burn. And yet, here we are, gripping, grabbing, clinging, to it all. And then we're just going to still the body on purpose. And listen for the sound of nothing. As Ellen Bass did, listening for the in-breath and the out-breath and that turn of the goldfish at the glass end of the tank. That moment when you wake up. No matter what's in your life this morning, no matter how cold or hot, everything is being born and everything is dying right here. Let's see if we can't greet it all. May this practice be of benefit to all beings, everywhere, without exception, those who are ill and those who are well, those who are sick and those who are healthy, those who have food and those with none, those of color, those of wealth, those with nothing. May we call to mind all those working in our behalf today. There are billions contributing to our welfare, our benefit, and our good. May we practice and offer benefit back to them. So just finding the body and then finding the big breath in the body. Do it in your own time, but just inviting that breath movement through the whole body, not just these little shallow breaths in the chest or belly. Big in-breath whenever you're ready. The whole body expand, and then a big ah. Let's do it again. Big in-breath when you're ready. Another ah. Settle in. Dropping the breath. Dropping the weapons we have held against ourselves and the world. Dropping the offenses, dropping the defense. Dropping in. Into what? And doing your best right now to stay in contact with the breath in a way that might be a little engaged or joyful, maybe even a little playful. There's no problem in these initial moments to sort of have fun with the breath. I noticed at the end of those long 2 breaths, there was no breath, and I was just resting there in curiosity, like, wow, there's nothing to do at all, not even breathe. Can you feel the expanse of the in-breath? Can you smile at the gift of this breath? And can you let it go? Softening the face, relaxing the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw, and the mouth. Relaxing the shoulders, the arms. entering in to the lungs, the heart, the belly. We have to show up for ourselves first. This is quite an annoyance. Especially for those of us who like to be there for others, but it requires something more of us. Our own presence directed first towards ourselves, our own bodies as we sit here, our own breath. If you think this is a waste of time, that means you're not understanding the point of the practice. We are getting more online here. We're getting more present, more available. We're letting all that discursive fiction writing mind just fly by. But we can feel our hands, the feet on the floor, the expanding and contracting body that reminds us what? Of the truth of everything. Everything is pulsing and fading, birthing and dying, arriving and departing each breath. So we drop the breath. We don't hang on. We don't eke it out at the end. We let it go. We let it be. And see if you notice that the more we can let go of the out breath, particularly at the end, creating even a little more space and room, not holding on at all, the more potent, the powerful, the more vigorous the in-breath. The more we can rest at the end of the out breath, the more available and present we are to the in-breath. We're not waiting, however. It's the wrong idea. We're resting in that open space. Already enough. Already whole, complete, interconnected. It is there that Ellen Bass could feel the coiled wire of interconnection. It was in the stillness, in the silence. There we can see the pulsing, the twinkling of the stars, the little breath, not just the big one. The impulse of life as it's moving in and out of everything. Beginning right here. Just this one breath. With you. Letting those thoughts just float by like clouds in the sky. We don't have to get rid of them. We don't have to make them ours. Maybe thoughts about the day, thoughts about the morning, thoughts about the poem, thoughts about the words. We simply let it all come and appear and go. I think one of the biggest mistakes in this practice is to take a stand back. I think we can get into the habit of bearing witness, getting away from to see more clearly. And actually, this practice invites us completely in, like Ellen Bass was, like having to join completely with life right now, without grabbing, without resisting, without clinging, without refusing anything. This is the training. So watch the disconnect. Oh, I'm going to sit way back here. Let it all pass by. Nope. I want you to get into the river, feel the ripple, feel the current, become a part of. Where is that invisible thread of life coursing through you? Know it directly. We can mistake non-attachment for detachment. It's an easy error. Let me stand back there on the curb, watch it all go by. Nope, get in the road, get in the river, get in the current of life. This is where it matters. Feel its power and breathe. And we begin right here, whether it's the in breath or the out breath, we abide. Short breath or long, abiding. Cool or warm, salty or sour, coming or going. We have established ourselves right in the center, letting life completely move through us, feel its power. But just be here in this one breath. There is no other. Can you greet each breath fresh and new? Don't fall into dullness. Go to sleep. This practice is to wake up. And then let's extend the wave of the breath beyond the body. As we breathe out, continuing out, find that end point in the breath, that's first. And then extend the consciousness, your awareness out beyond the body, out into the vast open space like a wave in the ocean. And as it rolls back in, let it roll in from beyond. That breath did not begin at this body. Let it enliven, invigorate, and awaken you with that in-breath. And then we send it back out. It's not just the breath, we're sending our awareness. We're opening to awareness beyond the body and breath. And see if you can sense that universal wave of the breath as it moves right through you. Gently rocking, becoming a part of that vast ocean of awareness. You are that essential wave. We let the body begin to dissolve into the open space like salt in a warm broth. We are bigger than this body. We are a part of all that is around, all that is within. Let it wave through, no grasping, no clinging, no identity, no fixation. The joy can be in the movement as well. Let it rock you. Let it cradle you, that wide open space, like big arms holding everything. calm, centered, present. And can you sense that we can abide it all without being toppled, without being flipped over? Rather than resist and create a barricade, a block, a barrier, we actually become fluid too, letting the body dissolve, letting the breath become larger, letting the mind take the shape of the boundless space in which all movements and all stillness appear. We are an essential part of the confluence of all of life, present here like this in the breath, in the body, with thoughts, sensations, emotions. But we are not only this, we are also that star 25 billion light years away. Also part of this open space. And as we rest back in the open space, we can then begin to uh, allow into the field of awareness particular objects arising and passing without being pulled, pushed, shoved, hooked by them. We don't mistake that movement for who we really are. We rest within our true identities, this infinite, open, empty, sky-like quality of mind, ocean awareness. Bigger than you can fathom. within this one breath. And as we rest in the spaciousness, remembering our true identity, we can then begin to turn towards a challenge, difficulty. We can call one to mind and see if we can keep the true identity present. What was the argument, the misunderstanding, the confusion? What was the wanting or the not wanting? See if we can bring this open, spacious, and boundless heart mind to that very difficulty. We're just going to hold it in awareness. There's nothing to figure out, no answer. It is fact from here that all answers come. Let's see if we can hold this too as a part of the whole, as the interconnection of all things, whatever the difficulty, whatever the emotions around it, whatever the perceived requirements, the have-tos, the gotta fix, gotta get rid of, gotta something. Can you feel its grasping nature? Can we let this too simply come and go? Our fear, our anger, our worry, our demandingness, our expectations, our preferences. There is room here for them all. Watching the breath, staying soft in the body. We're not going to take on that misleading disguise. We're going to stay in connection completely, knowing the felt sense. But not shrink wrapping the mind. The mind stays open, spacious. The heart stays receptive, embracing, open. Can we greet whatever it is, like a kindergartner being handed that beetle, that snake, that furry thing for the first time? The goal here is not to squeeze it to death or fling it across the room. Open, receptive, engaged. Letting it be and letting you be. Holding it all. And then no matter what the object, ones we like, ones we don't like, things that are scary, things that are appealing, we see the true nature of all things as they are coming and arising and passing and going. They are impermanent. They are imperfect and unreliable. They cannot be held or kept, no matter what it is. And it's impersonal. It's not actually about you at all. Though you are a part of the scene. And so we practice just like this, abiding the neutral object of the breath, the body, sounds and thoughts, cultivating these qualities of equanimity, of calm, of presence, of really showing up, and of opening rather than closing down. And there is one thing, usually named one thing, that we turtle up, shut down, duck dive from. What is it? This thing we don't like, we don't want. That collapses us back into that ego-centered clinging mind, to which we can also open. Moving from that open, spacious, vast wave into the wave of the breath in your own body. No less vast, no less spacious. and may we all be well. Ah, smiley faces. So why don't we talk for a few moments about these two things, really, aren't they? What binds us together and what qualities of mind are required to open into the truth of that vastness, open, spacious, interconnected, the all-consuming embrace, that. And what happens that we shrink? And in fact, we know in the neuroscience that the brain actually shrinks. It's really true. Raisin brain, something like that, not raisin bran, raisin brain. And I asked a key question in the practice, which is, what happens that we contract and grip? What appears in that field for you that actually hooks us into going, no, I can't be okay? And again, we name it one thing first, and then we find all these beautiful specific examples, right? Loss, death, grief, pain. Actually, it's not quite true, though we don't like necessarily all experience. It is not the experience itself that contracts us. It is actually something else. So there's a thing arising, we make contact with it, we don't like it, and then we contract. And what's the thing that we make contact, whether it's a father being ill, whether it's caring for someone, whether it's a relationship challenge, whether it's work challenges, what is it that we keep bumping into that we go, no, not this way? Either come on and say hello and give me your thoughts about that, share it with us, or write it into chat, whichever is most comfortable for you. What is that experience? What do we bump into that causes this grip, contraction, ego-centered, we could call it, reactivity would be another word. So let's see what we have. Chris is saying, I wonder today what it would be like to no longer be needed. Would I then still be wanted? Isn't it interesting? So some thought that to be valuable, to be loved, to be cared for, you have to be needed. Is it true? What if you just were? And out of that beingness, you would do what you would do. You would help because helping was helpful. You would not help in the times that helping is not so helpful. There would be no needing or not needing, no wanting or not wanting. And then, in fact, what I happen to know is you're irresistible in that being, completely irresistible. when it doesn't have to go any way, when there's enough space for everything. Then when we're needed, it's fine. We respond in that way. When we're wanted, it's great. We respond. And when we're not, it's just as great. A lot of open space for just being. And they're all actually true, aren't they? They're all actually true. We are here for each other. We are here for ourselves. And sometimes we're just here. And I often see those moments as moments of refuge when I go, well, okay, nothing really happening. I think winter is a little bit of that time, isn't it? It's a time when there's a kind of drawing in, a sort of inner light, inner refuge happening. And there's not so much activity. There's not so much in the doing. There's not, there's a settling first that I'm noticing happening. And I notice a lot of fears about that currently for people because they're feeling like they're going to disconnect. But you can't disconnect because activity is not the point of the connection, it's the presence. So how will you be present to that reality? How will you show up for the truth that there's not a lot to do, or there's nothing to, no actions currently to take? And I've been practicing a long time, first, not taking an action, but resting in awareness, abiding. It's like putting that tarantula in your hand in kindergarten. It's a strong impulse, isn't it? It's not subtle to fling it or squeeze it to death. And really, this is all of life, aren't we? Can we greet everything with a kind of open, receptive, still hand, stillness here? This is the same conditions for the heart for me. Open, receptive, and still, not clinging, not rejecting, but holding it. And that first grade experience came to mind for me, where they put a little tarantula in your hand as it walked around the circle, and you just had to sit there. And I was like, everything in my hand wanted to just go to that. By the way, that I still do that. It's just with life. No tarantula is required. It's tarantula of my own mind. Now I don't need another. But can we abide? This is the essential practice. The fear of exposing our true nature. Fear is a very important point, Dennis, because the truth is, it is something to which we have some kind of existing aversion or uncertainty. It might even be, right, the word that breeds that fear. Like, I don't know what this thing's going to do in my hand. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't like this. And right away, the impulse of contractedness or fear. And exposing our true nature, if we would only let it happen, if we could only let that happen, we would see what in this stillness, that in fact our true nature is not fear itself. Our true nature is not being needed. Our true nature is none of this. Our true nature is that open spaciousness that can be with all of that, right? I had someone write me this morning who's going for a second opinion around surgery. And she said something like, well, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to think the best. And I said, no, I think it's just as okay to recognize fear. Can you be big enough? Can you be open enough to hold that too? It's okay to be afraid, isn't it? Fear is not our problem. It's the ignorance of our fear. It's the shutting down and pushing it away that actually becomes our, not fear itself. Fear is simply what? An object in its appearance, the flashing lights, all the brilliant colors, the squeeze, and can we even recognize and rest back there? It's okay. Knowing fear is fear, uncertainty as uncertainty, confusion as confusion, anger is anger, love is love, right? The job is not to turn it into something else. This is a common bypass on our spiritual path, is to go, if I could only turn that into something okay, well, it is already okay. Can you become okay with it? Can we be in relationship to fear like this, worry like this, to aloneness like this, without contracting and being tumbled. Our job is to practice continually touching in like that wave against the lap of the shore, right? The shore is just there, letting it come and go. Can we hold that? Annika says, the shadow is very close now in our lives. So many people around are getting ill. It's really true, dramatically more. You could have thought it didn't exist here until recently. Now we have at least 6 or 8 people we know who are getting ill. I want everyone to be aware of that reality, struggling with mental health, how to stay whole, how to stay healthy. So there's the temptation to retreat, yes, and the detachment. Thank you for naming this, Annika. I think we think of this as a solution to get out of here and step back. This is harder. It's non-attachment, not detachment. The non-attachment is we are in the middle of the river and we are simply letting that current lap up, to know it, to experience it, and not to flee, run, or convert it into something else. Yes, the kind of detachment, observance, or yoga bliss. Yes, it is not the way. It doesn't mean that there's not bliss. Could you feel it? The okayness, the absolutely open spaciousness with anybody could get to that. Like here it is, aggressive thoughts. There they go. Here we are, riding the wave, feeling the grip in my chest as I think, why did my idiot husband say that one more time? Really? One more time? He had to say the same stupid thing he says about like, okay, can I feel the contraction in me and not mistake it for the problem of the other? Can I know something contracted in me there? No problem otherwise. And what was that in me? Is it my own weariness, my own impatience, my own wanting something different? And can I be with that? My own fear that it will always be like this? Can I be with that? And not project it as a problem of the other? This is the big work. This is where non-attachment serves and detachment doesn't, because easy to detach, just go, look, I don't care, whatever, goes where it goes. I don't have to even think about that. It's not my problem. Don't have to get in there. He could be whoever he is. I'll just stay back here. But that's not where love is. That's not where connection is. That's not where interconnection lives, does it? That's not where compassion comes from. Nothing like it, right? We can sit at the bank watching it all go by, but unfortunately, we do not necessarily engage. We do not necessarily then compassionately act. We do not necessarily actively love from there. We can't, because we're in a form of disconnect. And it's very tempting, isn't it? It's very tempting in this practice to go, abide, abide. The Zen students are the best at it. They care about nothing, right? Because they mistake non-attachment, non-clinging with detachment. I'm just going to stay over here, deadened to everything, impassive to everything. No, not a part of anything. They're the best meditators in the world, not necessarily the best people. And I don't mean that judgmentally. I mean, it's very easy then to go, what can I do about that? Nothing. So hands off. Well, no, it's not this hand. It's this one. This one, not so good, right? Let's stay away. No, it's this one. How do we move forward and in with an open hand, heart, right? That's right. And detachment looks like this. Yeah. You can feel it, can't you? You know that feeling. You felt that, oh, get me out of here. Right?
I feel like there's some sort of practices that lends itself more to that detachment or escaping into a little bubble of your own.
It does, Anna. And by the way, mindfulness teachers stay well. So this is not about any tradition at all. It's very easy in mindfulness to go, look, let's just be back here, somewhere back here, all the other stuff over there, and we're just happily, that's almost always seeking that detachment and a certain bliss state, jhana state. And again, not that they're not pleasant, and when they happen, we just ride the wave of that as well. All those jhana states, all that bliss, watch what happens to it. It comes, it is, and it goes. Just like all experience, there is no constant state. It's not true. Enlightenment, whatever that means, does not look like a static state of anything. It's a completely engaged and present state, which opens to everything. And that takes practice, that takes abiding. That's why we train. The just being can often look very detached, disconnected. And yes, and I've done some of those practices myself. By the way, they're very pleasant often, and I don't want to knock pleasant. But the still pool, thank you, Dennis, where that's our work. Can we become that still pool where everything is held and reflected, right? Without claiming it, without contracting and gripping. To hold, to keep, or to get rid of, either one. Allie, how does one maintain equanimity and open-heartedness when someone outright rejects you, results, criticizes you in any unkind way? It's a beautiful question. And the answer is you first begin with yourself, not the other, in just allowing your own pained experience. Can I stay with myself as I'm feeling that stabbing heart, as I feel unloved, as I'm feeling not cared about? Can I stay with myself, recognizing that too as not permanent, not self, just an arising experience? We don't have to get rid of the experience even. It's not wise to go, let me convert this into love. That's a myth. Can I begin by being with myself here in my own pain regarding that, in my own, right, fear about that, in my own anger about that? Can I ride the wave of my own experience first? That's the beginning of cultivating equanimity. Recognizing my own, and I have to say the way I've recognized my own anger, the way I recognize my own insulting capacity, the way I recognize my own abrasiveness is the same. And as I can stay in the wave of that experience with myself, with compassion, kindness, and equanimity, I can then accept and see what's actually happening exactly the same over there in another. That their reactivity is fear too, that their shutdown is detachment too, is often related to their overwhelm, their impatience as well, that it is not some statement about us, it's rather a statement about the quality of their heart mind, their painful experience. Can we even hold them then? We did a forgiveness practice yesterday for this reason. Can I see clearly the true nature of aggression, the true nature of insults, the true nature of harshness? Can I see it in myself? If you can't see it in yourself, you can't see it in the other. If you can see it in yourself, guess what? Space and room gets created where we can now begin to hold that, not only for ourselves, where we begin with compassion, but then, oh yeah, you too, who are fearful, you too who are pained, you too who are wounded, who are now wounding. Right? Isn't it always this way? Because if we have not been wounded, we would not wound. They come from each other, right? This is the nature of things. And how do we stop the ever, unfolding continuation? Well, the Buddha says cessation. We stop it by going, no, I am not greeting aggression with aggression. I am not greeting a slap with a slap. I'm not going to join your fear with my fear. I'm actually going to expand, open, and hold both mine and yours, beginning with mine. We have to. If I can't hold my own rejection, if I can't hold my own reactivity to it, how in the world am I going to hold yours? That means I don't understand. I don't have the insight or wisdom required to go, I get where this comes from. I get where this comes from. I'm understanding you're too tired, you're too lonely, you're too hungry, you're too overwhelmed right now. And so that energy manifests, right, in the way it does, and often with things like aggression or things like rejection. So if we can remember, this is not about me, this is this person's pain. And then we come home to attend to ourselves first. What about the reactivity in me right here? Feeling wounded right here. Can I attend to that first so that in my wholeness, I can then begin to open to the other? And by the way, I notice consistently I can. Once I've attended to my own, can I heal my own heart wound? And go, what's that? I got yelled at, the person said some unkind things, rather than go just fall into egoic qualities of they're being mean to me. Can I understand my own experience and reaction? This is painful, this hurts. I want respect, I want love, I want regard. It's all fine, that's a part of the human condition. And healing that leads us then in an open heart mind way to see what's really true there. This person, this is nothing about you, in fact. Always true. You're just what do they call it? A co-conspirator. A co-conspirator in the illusion.
So, Diana.
Yes, Greg.
So, I guess an answer to your question, which is something that you said to me a long time ago that really stuck, which is being able to see your own not wanting and sort of, being able to sort of stay with that. I mean, it's, when somebody does insult you or somebody sort of, is nasty or says the same thing over again that they've said 10 times and, to be able to see my own not wanting that. And
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All the reactivity that comes, we collapse, don't we? We reject the other frequently. You, the bad one, you, the one. Now, by the way, it doesn't mean that what was said was skillful. I'm not claiming that. And boy, have I made some unskillful statements myself, by the way, right? Loads. So what is that? What is my own tired, weary, pained, wounded experience? When I can stay with myself and see that, then I can more readily see what? The nature of your aggression, the nature of your collapse, the nature of your insult, the nature of your identically the same as mine. And then I can hold us both. And our own reactivity is where we often have to begin, as Greg is saying. You can't jump over there hoping to get something for someone else when you're not attending to your own woundedness, Allie. Your own woundedness gets to come first. What's happening here? My own pain around this, my own wish and wanting, Greg is saying, that this be different than it is. This is that grasping, clinging quality of life. Like, not this life. I don't want a life with this called rejection. I don't want life with this called aggression. I don't want life with this called shut down. Well, then guess what? We have the opportunity right there not to do it. We can now respond to life rather than perpetuate the wave of aggression, insult, collapse, or judging the other. Don't we do it constantly? As Greg was saying, judging like, you're just repeating the same mean things you've done for the last 46 years. You're doing the same thing you've done forever. Well, me too. The same that I've done for 46 years. There I am, thinking that same, but can I see what's under that? Can I see the vulnerability? Can I see the tenderness really that's there? Can I see my own wanting love, wanting connection, wanting peace and ease? And as Greg said, can I see my own reactivity, my own not wanting? That's the wanting, not wanting nature that we're investigating, but we can only see it in that open space. If we're contracted, the eyes are blind, the heart is deadened, the mind is gone dark. We have to really rest back so that we can see clearly what's actually playing in us first, what's happening, what's my own wanting, not wanting, liking, not liking, believing should be happening, believing shouldn't be happening, my own craving for peace, for ease, for harmony, for love, right? My own shtick. It should always look blissful. Story, 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 right? What's the truth? Life in all of its colors, life in all of its manifestations. Really, this is the practice. And how do we abide? Well, we train like this. We train just like this. I'm in Monica's thoughts here. I was thinking about a video I saw about a squirrel that was thrown off his path by a catapult. He made his body very loose, but locked his, eyes on the point where he wanted to land. Then he shifted his body, to change his flight from the out of control spin he was in. So you can be unexpectedly catapulted. It's pretty continuous, but find a mark, find a focus point, and find control, even in the spin of the unexpected situation and direction. Yes, what's the truth? Everything is unexpected.
Yeah, and
Everything.
it's the fear. The detachment comes from the fear that something's going to
That's-
throw you out of path. You're going to
That's
lose
right.
the job, or lose, relationship, lose the loved one, or become deathly ill. And so you want to recoil and you want to stay back. So I thought that squirrel was a bit comforting.
Perfect.
It's about a guy, he's trying to prevent the squirrels from eating off his bird feeders. So that's, and then he gets obsessed with the I'm sorry, it's a weird metaphor.
I've seen it. I've seen it actually. It's actually quite beautiful because you see the squirrel in such attention that he's going, oh, what do I need to do to really stay in contact with this? In our case, it isn't being driven by a wanting or a craving. It is being driven, though, by an aspiration. It's true. And the aspiration is what? Can I be most loving, most kind, most open in the face of all catapulting?
Well, that's the eye mark, right?
Yeah, in the face of all being flipped upside down. And by the way, I happen to know that is every moment. Don't believe it. Don't believe you're going to be sitting there for 5 more minutes. It's not true. You don't know anything. Don't believe you're going to get up and go out into the kitchen and that loved one is still going to be there, or that tennis lesson, I'm looking at Dennis, or that, right, a beautiful sunny day in Colorado, or that partner. See, these are the myths, aren't they? These are the clingings. And then when it doesn't go that way, what do? We reject life. Open-handedly. No, not this. It's not right. It's not supposed to. But yes, in fact, remember, created, literally, I love Annika's catapult, because this was created a billion years ago. Throughout all time, here it comes, the catapult, right? You are now just in that confluence of experiences. That's why I want Allie not to take this so personally. Doesn't mean the person did the right thing, and it doesn't mean that you don't get to respond. It's okay for both you and the other to say, not like this. I'm going to take a step physically, right, to safety, you get to, but I'm going to stay open and receptive to the truth that, yes, we all get angry. We all insult. We all reject. It's true. And that this is not who we really are. It's not who we really are. It is a reaction. It is the brainstem. It does come from wanting and not wanting, but can we see it clearly and hold it to? And the answer is yes, we can, just like you did in this meditation. You had a harsh thought. You had a worrisome thought. You had a fear-based thought. You had an unkind thought. You had a lecherous, pornographic thought. You had a murderous thought. No problem. Don't mistake it. Thought is thought. They're essentially preconditioned. Don't mistake it. How you then hold it, something about you, right? How you then open, something about you. How you then respond lovingly, compassionately, something about you, right there, present like that. An open heart with a smile, yes. Finding words to say to my reverend friend, Charlie Boss. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Dennis, and could barely talk. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. Yes, we are now having friends and family become ill. We are not going to escape this. This is not going to be the way, is it? For those of us who have been in kind of a bubble, we've been fairly lucky. The truth is the next 3 weeks and beyond, who knows, right? Uncertain. People we know are getting ill. We have friends whose children are getting ill. Young adults are becoming ill. This is a time we have to understand the potency of this and how to stay most connected, most open, even now, right? Even now. And yes, it breaks the heart. Yes, how could it be otherwise? Can we be there in that brokenheartedness? Yes, we can. In the grief for those we love, in the grief for those we don't even know. Yes, we can. Oh, beautiful, Dennis. Yes, extending kindness in all directions as often as we can, even to those we don't know, maybe particularly to those we don't know, because there's a lot of people alone in this. And it can be a little easy to forget, especially if we're engaged in a community or with a family or with a partner, that there are a lot of people walking through this every day by themselves. And so all the kindnesses that we can offer, small moments, a smile, an acknowledging look, matter. They all matter. So thank you. Yeah, chicken crossing the road, exactly right. That's all of us. I have an incredible tightness in my chest that has been there for days. I know this tightness. This practice was perfect to sit with that. Yes. Allow it. Yes. Still has not gone away. No, it's not done with you. It's not done with you. There's more to know. Can I open more? Can I accept more? Can I not reject, push away, resist more? And that's the practice. It will be there as long as it is there, and then it won't be. And that's the truth. I felt this very same thing yesterday during the forgiveness practice. I thought somebody had taken my heart and literally squished it into a cotton ball. And I felt like I actually thought, I have to say during that practice, I wonder if I have COVID. I wonder if this is what COVID feels like. This literally almost inability to feel like there's any room in there. And here's the practice. Can I make room for that? Can I make room for that? That squeeze, that bitterness, that ache, that pain, that confusion, that resistance, that not wanting, or that wanting something else? And the answer is yes, we can. Go nowhere. If you're putting it in a timeline, you're already trapped. Aren't we? We're caught. We're caught. The minute we go, still, now, what about now? Maybe I can get rid of it by the evening. And then maybe if I don't have it by 1 o'clock, I can go on. What if once you're in a timeline, you're already out of that open space? Just know that time by its nature is designed for control. It's designed for, got it now, don't have it now. Watch the timing. We do it in meditation practice, don't we? Don't you all go, how long? How much longer? Maybe it will only be, wait a minute, maybe she'll shut up in a second. We can end this thing and I can get on with my day. What timeline? Once you move into the timeline, you're back into egoic frame. Just know the difference. Then what? The minute we know it, what can we do? Wait, in wakefulness, in recognition, rest right back. Wait a minute, let me open to just now. Because that's the only way life plays. It's only now. No before, no after, no later, no lunch. Just now. We're resting there. So watch that because I know the phrase very well. Oh, still here. Still here. That means I wanted it to go 45,000 breaths ago. That's what that means. Still here. Why is it still here? I'm doing the practice, right? I know I am. I'm just opening. Well, you couldn't be because you're timing. You've got your stopwatch. Click. If I breathe 10 times, maybe this thing will go away. Click. Nope, still there. Click. I'll do it 10 more. Then maybe. Check back. Click. Nope. Whoop. Still there. That's that. We're caught in the linear time. There is no linear time in awareness. It is open, spacious, and present. Only now. Chris, thank you. He says, thank you for the Sangha and for talking him off the ledge, referencing Ellen Bass's poem and the truth of our lives, right? The truth of our lives. Sometimes we're on the ledge. Sometimes it feels like we're one breath off from the whole thing combusting. It's actually true. It's not true, but the felt sense is of it being true. Yes, practice is important. Thank you. Anything else anyone wants to say? Here we are, abiding it all. You're welcome, Monica. Okay, I think it's already time. So let's just sit together for a moment. Let's see if we can invite back that sense of open space. And the way I can do it now is just by making contact with the room that you're sitting in, the feelings of coolness or warmth, whatever's there. See if you can feel into that stillness and silence that's right there. It's not something outside of you. It's actually the quality of your own heart mind. For you to conceive it is you. And we simply rest in the body, soften up, and breathe. And then we eyeball like that squirrel being catapulted through air. We eyeball our aspirations. We set the directional, the North Star, the ground pole. For what? Presence. By entering our own bodies. By making contact with our own breath for stability. By honoring the movement within the stillness, one breath at a time. May we dedicate the blessings, the benefits, and the merits of this practice today and all practice throughout all time. May we offer this to the end of suffering and the realization and promise of true happiness and freedom. This unconditional, undying possibility for awakening. May we offer this beginning with ourselves holding yourself in that most loving embrace. And then as it will extend itself. Like that fully absorbed sponge just begins to expand itself out beyond this body, radiating outward in all directions. It's true. Offering kindness, offering spaciousness, offering care, whatever's needed. May we all be happy. May we all be free from suffering. May we all have ease and well-being. May we all remember our true identities. We are not this thought. We are not this feeling. We are not this grip, this sensation. We are that which abides and holds all, most loving, most kind, most compassionate presence. Remember who you are, O nobly born. Gifted this precious human life, this moment, this breath. Make the most of it. Thank you all for being here with me. Blessings to you all. It's lovely to see you on video. Allie, lovely to hear you. Wonderful to have everyone here. Greg will be offering a 7 a.m. on Thursday meditation. Please join him then. It's a beautiful balance, a time. We're really in a nice flow for practice throughout the week when you can. And then I am not sure who will be leading Saturday at 7:30 yet, because I don't know what time our Sangha has to be at the fairgrounds to distribute the holiday baskets. We're several of us, Joyce and Rick and Adrian and I hope Tanya will be there. So as soon as I find that out, but someone will be here guiding on Saturday at 7:30. Please join them, and blessings to all. Have a wonderful day. Yeah, to you as well.
Thank
All right,
you.
everyone. Yes, thank you. Yay. Yay to us. Yay to us. Changing the world right here. Thank you all so much. Be well, everyone. Bye-bye.